forced labor, slave labor, or just typical Chinese exploitation? Does the government in Zimbabwe know what is happening? All indications are they do. Health inspectors and Labour Department officials have seen these pictures, so why has there been no action? Because when you strike a deal with the devil, you pledge your conscience. The government is indebted to China. They cannot afford to antagonize Beijing. A string of similar incidents has emerged in Zimbabwe, and all of these incidents remain unaddressed. In 2019, miners went on strike over low wages. They also wanted PPE kits while going down mine shafts. The response still awaited. And then last year, a Chinese mine owner shot 2 of his workers. Why? Because they were demanding unpaid wages. The Chinese embassy called it an isolated incident. But that's far from the truth. Zimbabwean workers are systematically abused, and their tormentors are their Chinese bosses. Question is, will things change? At the moment, it looks unlikely. In 2018, Zimbabwe's president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, was invited to Beijing. He signed new deals with China. Today, Zimbabwe's map is dotted by Chinese projects. They're upgrading the Robert Mugabe International Airport. They're building a $3 billion coal plant in Sengwa. They're refurbishing Zimbabwe's largest power station, and this year they opened an iron ore mine and a carbon steel plant. To put it simply, China is sucking the sovereignty out of Zimbabwe. Their GDP is $20 billion. Chinese investments are worth $10 billion. When these Chinese loans come due, what do you think will happen? Asset transfer. Zimbabwe will have to surrender strategic assets to China. This is China's playbook all over the world, exploiting local employees and workers and then trapping helpless nations in debt. We've given you the evidence. Now it's for the international community to act.
I'm not surprised to see this at all. This man, and I don't care. I don't even want to know what happened in the video. All I know is I see a man being assaulted by an Asian man. Chinese, caught in, whatever you want to say. He's of Asian descent. And he's abusing this man. It is no reason for him to treat this man like this. He is not a slave. Okay? Somebody need to get the memo to this man, whoever he is, that's assaulting this man. If you pull that in the States, you will be in jail and you will lose your license and you will never own another company because somebody is going to definitely sue you. So he's pulling that where he knows he can get away with it, because he certainly can't get away with it over here. Say what you want about Black Americans. Y'all love to say Black American, but what you don't realize is that these Koreans is over there wearing y'all out with sticks and anything else they can get in their hands. I've seen them do it. I've been in the China Mall and I watch how they talk to the employees, and I have to literally, one time I had to literally say, excuse me, hello, I'm a customer and I don't want to see that. But had I not have spoke up when I did, they probably would have kept on doing what they were doing. Y'all better understand y'all rights and understand that you can work somewhere else.
The Chinese are kidnapping Africans and forcing them to work. The Chinese kidnapped 91 Africans, put them in a shipping container, shipped them to South Africa, and forced them to work in a cotton fabric factory. This factory was surrounded by barbed wire, high fences, and they had armed guards outside of this factory. They dared them to leave. Like, once y'all here for good. They work 7 days a week, 11 hours a shift. And some of these were kids from 14 to 16-year-olds. Out of these 91 Africans, 37 of them was kids. And this is who Africans called their savior, China. Last year, they was like the Chinese is going to save Africa. They putting y'all in shipment containers and forcing y'all to work. That don't look like a savior to me. And peep this out, y'all. They didn't even give them safety equipment. They had them out there working defective machinery, injuries left and right. One African ended up escaping. That's how they were able to discover this. But this was going on from 2017 to 2019. They had these Africans in a cotton fabric factory working 11-hour shifts for 7 days a week.
The largest EV brand in the world was just exposed for putting their workers through slave-like conditions in their new factory in South America. A scandal just broke regarding Chinese brand BYD. They reportedly used sketchy visas to bring hundreds of Chinese workers into Brazil to build their brand new South American factory. According to an investigation by the Brazil labor authorities, these workers have been living in, quote, slave-like conditions. BYD hired a Chinese contractor known as Xinjiang to bring in around 500 workers into Brazil. According to Brazil's Ministry of Labor, 163 of these workers were found living in shockingly bad living conditions. Here you can see crammed dorm rooms, no mattresses, and one toilet for every 31 people. And even their food was apparently left out and they had no refrigeration. The ministry accused BYD of using irregular visas to bring the workers into the country from China, and that they would be fined for each worker that was working there. BYD and Xinjiang both deny the claims and said that they thought the visas were legit. BYD has now cut ties with the contractor and has promised to improve those living conditions. BYD has $620 million invested in this new South American plant, and they plan to produce over 150,000 vehicles per year from that factory. But for now, that is at a complete stop.
I'm obviously not in Africa. I'm obviously not African.
That's 1 week. The next chance. You don't have a right to say no. This is last chance. Give Kingsley. If we can't do that, we'll ask another person to replace him.
But what I hate to see is Chinese, Arab, any others going over there to Africa and treating my fucking brothers and sisters like crap. I'm not cool with that at all, okay? Right now, China is literally buying up Africa, okay? And these people are going over there treating Africans like absolute dog shit, okay? I mean, they talk to them like crap, treat them like absolute crap. And what boggles my mind is the Africans who get in my comments and try to protect these people, all because they are bringing upward mobility to Africa by the way of a fucking job, okay? Even though that Chinaman is paying these people absolute crumbs, talking to them like they're fucking nothing, treating them like slaves. We've all seen the videos, right? We've all seen them. Men, women, I've seen videos of Chinese men punching African women. What the fuck are you Africans gonna do about that? Y'all niggas are so hungry that you won't even protect yourselves or your women, bruh. A Chinaman coming over to your country and you just bowing down to him because you so in need. Bruh, that shit hurt my soul as a Black American, I promise you. Because we would never fucking do that. Never. We would fight before we would bow the knee to a foreigner coming over here doing us like that. And when they do. They come over here and they try it. And then they get that understanding real quick. The whole world knows what Black Americans do. So I don't need to sit here and, oh, yeah, we do this, we not. Y'all know. I want the Africans to start to stand up, man. Stand up on your own land. You there, bruh. Take control of that shit. Don't ever let a foreigner come over there and disrespect you.
There's like a whole industry popping up in China where they have little African children say Chinese phrases, and they're like dressed in their village garb or whatever, and they record them saying Chinese phrases as like greetings for each other, but the phrases are like degrading things like,
yeah, you're a monster.
Yeah, I'm a monster. I have low IQ. And then these videos get sold and passed around in China, and they were interviewing the villagers and the little kids that he uses, because he pays them like $50 a week to make these videos, and they make them all day long. They were saying that like if they don't cooperate, he beats them, things like that. Crazy stuff.
He did an interview with the other Chinese guy. He's like, oh yeah, you gotta treat them like monsters.
Yeah.
不要可怜他们，这是最主要，你把这句话放在心里，对待黑人，行了。
But America is racist. Would you look at that? But America is racist.
What you're seeing in this video is not just an isolated case. It is one of the many cases that have come up where you see these Chinese treating blacks as hobos, black Africans as hobos. And this is the crux of the matter, why the black community in America say we're not taking this nonsense anymore from you guys. It's not just an isolated cases. There are pockets of cases like this that have happened all across everywhere these Chinese investors have been in, and they have treated people, subjugated them to very inhumane conditions for work, no safety, low wages, and when they don't have their way, they turn straight to their fist and begin to punch and begin to abuse, because in the back of their mind, no one is going to do anything to them. They're going to get away with it. And it is high time that those who are in Africa need to stand up to this nonsense and say, no, we have had enough of this rubbish. We're not going to take enough of this. And this is exactly what the black community in the United States is talking about. We can't keep taking this inhumane nonsense treatment from you guys and you expect us to patronize you business wise, and this is the rise and the condition upon which those boycotts are taking place. So credit to the original content creators. We're going to examine other videos and we'll come back to give you a final conclusion.
The court has sentenced 7 Chinese nationals to 20 years for trafficking 91 Malawians into slave-like labor at a cotton factory in South Africa. The victims, of which 37 were children, were trapped behind razor wire, forced into 11-hour shifts, and denied basic freedoms until police raided the site in 2019. Prosecutors had pushed for life sentences, arguing the workers endured conditions similar to a prison camp. Rights groups say the case exposes the harsh reality of modern slavery in Africa's industrial hubs. Do you think justice has truly been served for the Malawians? Tell us in the comments below.
Everyone needs to hear this, and let me tell you, this is very, very heartbreaking. 7 Chinese nationals have been arrested and jailed in South Africa for over 20 years. And let me tell you, you won't believe what these 7 Chinese did to 91 Malawians. So these 7 nationals who are living in South Africa hired 91 Malawians in their company. And you won't believe that from 2017 to 2019, these people were working as slaves. I'm talking about slavery. They were working for over 11 hours. And they were taking only shifts from those 11 hours without pay and never getting out of the company that they had been employed, the so-called employed. These Chinese nationals used these people to get profits, and they were working under very bad conditions. You won't believe that some of them became blind because of the type of work they were doing. And let me tell you, when you see the videos of how they are reacting in the court.
Guys, we just watched the video where you saw the Malawians being treated anyhow, South Africans. It reminds me of a situation that transpired last year, 2025, just by this time, where we had some Nigerians who were picked up by an undisclosed Chinese company in the name of better conditions and salary, and they were taken to an isolated location for mining, and for like days there was no communication with the outside world. Their passports were seized, Their feeding was not made possible. They don't know where they were until someone from outside came and they were able to use that man's phone to be able to do certain videos. And after several weeks of, crying out and pleading, the Nigerian government came to their aid and they were rescued from that African country. And so these are the patterns. Because it's just one or two occasions we say, okay, there's no sense of racism in these people, but you keep seeing this popping up here and there. So there's a possibility. It may not be all, but there are traces of racism. And for goodness sake, you guys forget that your prime origin is from Africa. All of you Asians, all of you Chinese, all of you Koreans, South Koreans are all having your ancestral roots from Africa. And your DNAs do not lie about it. The facts are on ground. Do your research. And it is high time that African countries begin to take responsibility for their continent and their people. It is as a result of these loans and backup loans and clauses in these loans that they have taken from these countries that have subjugated your citizens to unbearable conditions. And like I always tell people, what do you expect from the Chinese government, from the communist government? A whole lot of things that are being shown on TV are whitewash. A greater percentage of most part of China is not developed. And so when you take a poor man and bring him to Africa to execute a contract, he begins to assume the position of Lord and Master. So that is just my personal take on the whole subject matter. If you're coming across my content and like what I do, please hit that notification button, hit that subscription button, so that when we bring up new and exciting content, you will be first to be notified. So come in to the content, let's join in the conversation. See you on the next video.